You do not ID me. If you do not ID yourself, you're going to jail. Does that make sense?
Ooh, let me set
If
up.
you do not ID yourself.
Bowie is my name.
Okay, go ahead and turn around for me.
So many police encounters we see in the news or on YouTube were completely unnecessary. Some may say that those are just circumstances where a-holes collide, but they need to keep in mind that we're not talking about random people just encountering each other, but rather an interaction between a citizen and that citizen's government. These are not equal positions. Hot-headed police officers who primarily enforce their ego and their authority tend to escalate situations unnecessarily, creating crime out of thin air and endangering the safety of everyone. A little bit of common sense and a little bit of kindness would really go a long way. Recently, a federal lawsuit was filed in Kentucky and the body cam footage was released, showing a young pregnant woman confronted by a police officer in her own driveway over a busted taillight. Take a look and then I'll give you my thoughts about whether her constitutional rights were violated. Can the police just pull in your driveway after you park and detain you in your yard, much less use force on you?
What's that?
What's that serious for a taillight?
I'm coming to pull you over.
For a taillight.
Okay, do you want to get cited today? Because you're already off on a bad fact.
You're already mad.
ID.
I don't have one with me. I have to go in the house and get it.
You got your ID?
Yeah.
Okay.
That don't make no sense.
Is that why you pulled us over?
Yes, you know it is.
Yes, that's why I turned around on you. And you.
Yeah, I just bought this
45.
tape.
I believe it's going to be a Meacham trailer parking. By the way, that doesn't fix it. So.
Okay, well, it still works.
What's your name?
Doesn't fix it? What do you
It does
mean?
not. You have to get red tape. Does not fix it.
It still works.
Does that make sense? It does not work. I'm telling you. It
I
doesn't
haven't
work.
got. We haven't got.
What's your
pulled
name?
over how long?
What's your name?
Wait a minute. First of all, what's the matter?
He
Stop.
has an attitude.
What do you mean stop?
What do you mean
Okay,
stop?
I'm
Go
finna
over
go
there.
this way.
You're going right over there. Yes, you
No,
do
I'm
have to
finna
say
go in the
something to me.
house.
She was
Nope,
driving,
you're
not
staying
me.
right here.
Why do I have to stay?
Because I'm telling you to.
You don't have to talk to me like that. Why you hollering and stuff?
I am telling you, stay right
He
here.
has an
I ain't gonna
attitude
say
already.
nothing. Don't even say nothing else.
And I'm not saying.
Don't
What's
even
your
say
name?
nothing else, because he doing.
I
What's your
wasn't
name?
driving.
He's
She
doing
was
too
driving.
No, I watched you get out of the driver's seat. You were driving. What's your name?
Too much.
You do not ID me. If you do not ID yourself, you're going to jail. Does that make sense?
Ooh, let me set
If
up.
you do not ID yourself.
is my name.
Okay, go ahead and turn around for me.
You can't really see much of what happens here. According to the lawsuit that was filed, the officer, McCracken County, Kentucky Deputy John Hayden, threatened to tase this 24-year-old pregnant woman, Alicia Bowie. He then, quote, face-planted her into a cruiser, pinned her to the ground with his knees on her back, holding her down with the full weight of his body. She was then 6 months pregnant. In his citation, Deputy Hayden wrote that after Bowie refused to identify herself, allegedly, he attempted to arrest her by grabbing her wrist to gain control. However, the body cam footage, you can see for yourself, shows that after the deputy asked her to identify herself, she gave her name. The deputy further wrote in his report that, quote, after a brief struggle, Bowie was then placed on the ground by physical force to gain control and compliance.
You do not ID me. If you do not ID yourself, you're going to jail. Does that make sense?
Ooh, let me set
If
up.
you do not ID yourself.
is my name.
Okay, go ahead and turn around for me.
Wait a minute. She's pregnant. She's pregnant.
Get off of
Don't you not touch me. She's pregnant. Lisa. Oh, no. She's pregnant now.
Give me another
No,
one. Give me another one.
no, she's pregnant. Please. She's pregnant. Please.
You're fixing to get tased.
You
better get off.
Mama, you're not doing nothing.
Bowie and her mother were both arrested and charged with felony assault of a police officer. Those charges are apparently still pending. After a complaint was received, McCracken County Sheriff Ryan Norman said that the Sheriff's Department had investigated itself and concluded that none of their policies or procedures were violated. He apparently didn't mention whether any constitutional protections were violated.
Oh my God! You don't have to do all like the lights now! Oh my God! You don't have to do that!
Get off of me. Send me another. I got two fighting.
And we are not fighting you!
A few minutes later, after both women had been arrested, Hayden then puts his body camera back on, and his audio shuts off twice when he explains to other deputies what happened. Later, Deputy Hayden's conversation with the jail nurse and the nurse's evaluation of Miss Bowie are also conveniently not audible on the body camera. Note that when the women were upset and verbalizing their displeasure during the arrest, that the deputy left the audio running, but at other times he apparently concealed his own audio.
I'm 10-15 times 2. I got to find my push my stuff.
Don't worry about that. Oh, we've dealt with them before.
I need her in the car. You put her in that car over there. I've got one in my back seat now. She's. I've got it now. I just got to figure out how to do it. Yeah, I'm good. Both of them's fighting me.
What happened?
Deputy Hayden did not take Miss Bowie for medical treatment. Instead, a jail nurse refused to admit her because of her injuries and her being 6 months pregnant. Only then was she taken to the emergency room. Legal analysis aside, was any of that really necessary? Is it difficult, or is it that difficult to just be kind, or at least be calm as a police officer? You would think that rational police officers would sometimes just think to themselves, do I really need to be doing this right now? What is my purpose here? What am I trying to achieve? And this is where ego gets in the way. The question is not what you think you have the authority to do, but rather what should you do? Heck, just acting rationally. What is in your own best interests? Whereas citizens should ask themselves at times whether they really want to invite the man into their lives, so should police officers ask themselves whether they really want to invite drama into their own lives through just demonstrating their own perceived authority or demanding what they perceive to be respect or lack of respect. It's really not that much different than child custody litigation. Just because you can or you think it's fair doesn't mean that it's what's in the best interest of your child or for you in the long run. You'll end up in a better position generally and happier by just being kind, or at least manipulative and just pretending to be kind. Meanwhile, you record and obtain evidence with a smile on your face. But I guess that's just too much to ask at this point from law enforcement. Now in this footage, we don't see the beginning of this stop, so I'm not sure whether Miss Bowie was already out of her car prior to the initiation of the stop. This is actually a common issue I see. Can police officers just pull into your driveway knowing that you just pulled in, got out of your car, and began walking up to your house, and then at that point initiate a traffic stop and detain you, etc.? This is where it just depends on the circumstances. As we've discussed before, reasonable suspicion of a crime is required to detain a suspect. Usually in a traffic stop, that's based on the officer allegedly observing a traffic law violation. Driving with a broken taillight could meet the reasonable suspicion requirement. But what about seeing a busted taillight on somebody who is driving and then not getting to that suspect until they're now parked and standing in their driveway or their yard? What about not getting to them until they're already inside their home, even though you did see them a few minutes earlier driving with a busted taillight? So this is where we can get into a lot of what ifs that could be tricky for a police officer. If you're going to have to perform a traffic stop on someone who is now standing in their driveway or their yard or their porch, you might just want to stop and ask yourself if the crime that you're investigating or the crime for which you're basing a reasonable suspicion on is sufficiently important to justify entering this gray area of constitutional and also state law that may now involve you being within the curtilage of someone's home without a warrant and without probable cause. So now, if there is a warrant, a police officer could even follow potentially a homeowner inside their home to arrest them under these circumstances. Note I said that it has to be their home, so the home of a third party would still require a search warrant or valid exception. If it was a hot pursuit type situation, under some circumstances, officers could be given quite a lot of leeway in entering or remaining on the curtilage or even inside the residence of a house, again, if it's a hot pursuit situation, more serious crime. So those what ifs don't really appear to be relevant here. We're looking at the most minor of minor traffic offenses, followed by an arrest for an alleged failure to identify, where the arrestee is just given her name. Where have we seen that before? As I mentioned in a recent video in one of my cases, the tables turn when you're talking about a police encounter now occurring within the curtilage of a suspect's residence. Law enforcement has no right to demand identification on your own private property, at least not without a warrant. But it goes back, again, just to the basic fact that a police officer should ask themselves, why am I here? What is my purpose? What do I have to gain? And also, what do I have to lose? It would be a novel idea for law enforcement in this country to just try to be kind and use common sense. Now, of course, there are plenty of those officers around who do that. We all know some of them. Most of us do anyways. You just don't hear about them, or more importantly, see them on YouTube, because they're the ones that go home at night drama-free. As always, thanks for watching. You'll find more information in the link below to the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. If you have a video you want me to see, please use the submission link here in the description or at the blog. If you want to learn more about these cases, learn more about your constitutional rights, and I don't know why you wouldn't, now also please comment with your thoughts on this. Is it really necessary? Let me know. To give someone a pension, a free car, unlimited fuel to patrol the local trailer park for a broken taillight. If you want to support the channel, please consider clicking the join button, becoming a channel member or sponsor. Remember, freedom is scary. Deal with it. See you next time.